Hello, everybody. I'm Jackie K. Cooper, and today I have a special guest, Karen White, the New York Times best-selling author. She has a new book coming out. There it is. Make sure you see it. That Last Carolina Summer. Now,
I can, yeah.
what is the actual release date on this?
Week from yesterday, July 22nd.
So next week.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you're gonna be touring. I've seen your schedule. I
All
don't know
over
how
the
you do it.
place. Yeah. It's going to be a busy schedule and it's weird because, it's like I go, then I come back, then I go, then I come back, it's just it is what it is. So I'm glad it's been a while since I've been on tour just by myself for my own book. So this will be fun.
And I was trying to think. This is your first Karen White non-series book in years.
Since 2019, that was the last night in London.
I love that book.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I just that last night in London. Well, I wrote a whole thing on it. You saw that. I sent it to you.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know, and I so appreciated that. That truly, unfortunately, that was the book that was supposed to come out in 2020, and then it's 2020.
Yes.
So my publisher postponed publication to 2021. And then just kind of let it sit. I didn't go on tour. They really didn't do anything in terms of promotion. I mean, and there's only so much I can do.
Right.
I'm just, I'm not a machine. So
And
sadly, a lot of people didn't know that book came out.
and let me tell you now, you who are watching this. Go back and find that book because I think it's one of your best. I
Yeah,
really
I agree, and many of my readers say the same thing. Once they discovered, like when it came out in paperback, and I was doing some publicity for it, they were like, "Oh, I didn't know you had a book come out." I'm like, "Yeah," and then they would read it, and they were, "Oh my gosh, this is so good,"
I know.
I
Yep.
know. So anyway, and then at the same time, as you know, and you'll see a little bit in this book, I was handling basically I was in charge of the mental and financial worlds of both of my parents who had dementia and Alzheimer's. So, my world just kind of was my mind was occupied doing other things. And these books, like that last Carolina Summer, they're very emotional and very, they take a lot out of my brain. Not that the series don't, but the series, I can write those when my mind also has other things going on because I already have the characters and the setting and I know what's going on, but like I could not write another single title while I was handling and dealing with all of that. So and then my parents ended up passing within 9 months of each other, and my daughter got married in the middle. So my mind was just like, you know, it was
And
just kind of, it
now,
was wild.
at the last time that you and I talked, you told me you're going to be a grandmother.
I am, yes. So now,
And,
yes. So a
and,
good thing. My daughter's expecting in October, a little girl, and my son is getting married
and
in
your son is
March.
getting
So
married. Come on.
yeah, yeah.
Life
So it's
moves
been a lot.
on.
Life does move on in good ways. But while this was all going on, I injured my back,
Oh,
and
bless
yeah,
you.
this book. I know you've been there. And this book and my the one that comes out in November, I both wrote while lying down on my stomach with like a sort of a wedge pillow under my chest
I'm
because I could
scared.
not sit down. So it's been a ride since 2019. It's been kind of crazy, but
You know,
but but I see the light.
I was thinking about, I remember, yeah, I'm sure well, you may, but the first time I ever met you was at a party that Patty Callahan gave for Annabelle
Yes,
Robinson.
yes,
You,
I remember that very
I
well.
had never laid eyes on you, and somebody,
And I was like at the very, very beginning of my career. Like
right,
I maybe
right,
had one book out. Yeah.
and they introduced me to you, and you were so interesting, and we talked the whole party.
We did. We
I don't
did.
think I
Yeah.
talked to anybody else there.
Isn't that sad? I don't remember anybody else at that party except for you.
And then the next event thing I remember is we were at the Dahlonega Book Festival, and
Hmm.
Megan was with you. She was in high school then,
Oh, yes, that's
and,
right.
and she was doing some kind of report or something. But we were doing interviews and all this stuff, and she was out
Yeah,
there working on her
yeah.
home, and then we'd see
Hmm.
each other. But
Yeah. That
and
seems like yesterday, I
it does,
swear.
and I don't even want to think how many years it's been. But I was thinking, you're the only writer I know who you were writing standalone novels at that time. And then you started your Trad Street series. So you had standalones, then you had a series of books, the whole Trad Street
Hmm.
group.
Hmm.
And then you started writing with two other writers and wrote three writers on one book. I don't know any
Hmm.
other author who has all three of those things going at the same time.
Well, probably you don't know anybody with this level of insanity, or someone who doesn't know when to quit. I don't
Oh,
know.
let me just write one with
It
these
always seems,
three two people.
it's like it always seems like a good idea at the time, and I have absolutely no regrets. I'm so glad. I've loved each and every book I've written. Beatrice and Lauren, my co-writers on the collaborations, which we've now done five, are two of my dearest friends. We have an absolute blast together. We love writing together, and I think changing it up really, it enriches the writing. If you keep doing the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, you don't challenge yourself, then I think it shows. I think you can get very boring that way. So and even if you look at my single titles, I've done all sort, I've done historicals, I've done, the time slip ones where like on Folly Beach, part of it's World War II, part of it's modern day, and you go back and forth. And I love that. I'll probably go back to that again, but I don't want to do that with every single book.
Well,
And I don't want to write low country every single book. But it's been so long since I've done low country. That was Flight Patterns, which I think was 2017.
but this
Yeah.
book to me is, pure Karen White because
It's definitely a return to my roots. Absolutely.
it's low country set.
Hmm.
It's characters that just spring to life on the pages. And then you have this gripping story. And I knew you and I knew what you were going through, and you brought that experience into this story.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And and I didn't want it to be a downer. I didn't want it to be about, dementia or Alzheimer's. That wasn't my goal.
no, but you
My
make
goal
the
was to
point.
to tell the stories behind the people, the people who are at all, the two daughters, the two sisters, how they're handling it. Plus, they have their own stuff going on, and I just like that reflection, back. And it
And
was
it's
hard.
and it's multi-generational because
Yeah.
you have the two sisters' mother, and then you have
Hmm.
the lady that they become involved. They
Celeste.
become Celeste,
Yeah.
who's such a good character,
I
and
love her.
and
I
then you
love
have
her. Yeah.
Addie's, the sister Addie's daughter, and so
Uh-huh.
you have all these levels going on, and
Right.
and this backdrop of the mother having memory issues, etc. And
Right.
there's a love story intertwined.
Right.
Pure Karen White.
And a mystery. And a
White.
mystery. You got to throw in the
Oh yeah,
mystery.
and the mystery.
Yeah.
So, you know, what, did your mother and father's problems inspire you on this book? Is that what was the germ of an idea?
Um, most definitely, because I like to write about realistic things that people go through, and I thought, well, this is the most realistic thing I can write about right now. And like all of my books, all of the inspirations come from many, many different places. This one was, I was like, the trauma that I went through mentally and physically while dealing with all this. I'm like, I've got to find use for it somewhere. Um, but I brought in other things. I mean, like I got a camera bird feeder, and that introduced me to the world of birds. And I'm like, well, I got to use that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are my two main inspirations. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it was definitely very cathartic to be able to write, about a lot of this. And there's a scene towards the end when Phoebe is speaking to her mother. And remember, her mother is not comprehending, but she has a really honest conversation with her, and I have to say that that one scene took me weeks to write. I kept on going back and going back and going back because it needed to be just right. And it was basically the conversation I wished I'd had with my mother,
Mhm.
that I never got a chance to. So that was, I mean, there were a lot of tears spilled over that scene, but I think at the end I got it just right, and I'm so glad that I took the time to go back and go back and go back to make sure I did.
Now, I know that the book in October is in I call it the NOLA series because it's
Right,
New Orleans based and the main
right.
character is named Nola. And yeah, so we're continuing her story, which
Yes.
which is a spinoff of the Trad Street stories. But
Mhm.
will there ever be another Trad Street book?
No.
Oh,
I mean, I wrote 7 books in the series.
I know.
And when I got to the last one, I was, not I mean, I love the characters, but it was
They were
like I there
wonderful.
was nothing new I could do. It's like why you never want to leave a game, when you're losing.
Yes.
You want to leave on a
You
high
went
note.
out on a high note. You know,
Yeah, and
I
and I
do.
think and I everybody had a resolution. I mean, I couldn't mess with Jack and Melanie anymore, and that's really what kind of drove the Trad Street series. And to do any more, to torture them anymore after that would be like whipping a dead horse. I mean, I just didn't want to do that to them or to me, and I just couldn't get that excitement of like, oh gosh, here's these characters, they're totally happy, but now I have to make them unhappy. It seemed very forced and contrived, and that is why I came up with the spinoff series with Nola.
And they have Melanie Jack have appeared in the spinoff series.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I mean they're her parents,
right.
so of course. But the drama will never be about them. It's they're done. Their 7 books are done, and I think they came full circle. They went up, they went down, they went up, they went down, they left on and up. So I
You know,
think I
I
think they're done.
identified you so much with the character of Melanie that
Yeah,
when I was reading the books, that it was there you were. So
yeah, yeah.
as long as I can keep in touch with you, I can accept the fact that
There you go. There you go. And Nola, as she's gotten older, she is definitely adopting a lot of the Melanie isms that
which are great.
that were dominant in Melanie's life, considering that when Nola came to live with Melanie in the first series, she's this blue-haired, like really insecure 14-year-old who thinks she knows it all, very independent and strong. She's a vegan. And then all of a sudden, you know, she's, goes to Ashley Hall and she has to wear a school uniform and she rebels a little bit. But now that we see her as an adult, we get to see that now that with a little bit of perspective, she realizes that maybe, some Melanie's things aren't so bad.
Right.
And,
As we all have learned over the years,
yes,
things that we
yes.
thought were a little bit eccentric, maybe weren't so eccentric
They
or
work. They
not
work.
there.
Yeah. And I hope my daughter realizes this when she has her baby and I give her some advice. I'm not going to give her unsolicited advice. I promise. I promise. Megan, if you're
Sure,
listening, I promise.
sure,
I'm not going to
sure.
do that.
Believe that, Megan.
Yeah, I'm going to sew my lips shut now. So,
But now the October book is already finished. Have you started on anything since then?
so yes, I'm because having 2 books out in a year, although it was totally my idea because I'm trying to play catch up since,
Right.
I've been kind of like MIA for a while. So that's why I'm doing 2 books this year. And then I'm trying to avoid doing 2 books again in 2027. So I'm actually working on book number 4 in the Royal Street series in the hopes that I can turn it in soon enough so it can come out next fall. And then have the next single title come out in 2027. So it's like 1 book a year, which I can manage.
When you say
Um,
single title, that means a Karen White standalone.
yes, yes, a standalone. Yeah, that's the plan. So we'll see. I mean, I've got a lot. got two book tours and a baby,
Um,
and baby shower and, all these other fun things that are kind of, and my back is getting better. I've discovered the joys of dry needling,
When
which
they're done that.
helps me sleep at night. It really, I can sleep because I didn't sleep for 2.5 years, and the dry needling has made that happen. And I found a wonderful chiropractor who actually took the time to look at the MRIs and diagnose what was going on. First time in 2.5 years of seeing people and spending tons of money. So, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
it's been a ride.
Been there.
Yeah, seen it done and been there. Yeah. You
Four
probably have
back,
the t-shirt on under your shirt.
I've had
Yeah.
four back surgeries in the last year.
Wow.
Three, three laminectomies and one chiroplasty.
Mm. Mm.
It,
That's tough.
it,
No,
it's,
I'm sorry. No,
but,
I know. I know. And,
but that's my
luckily,
purpose.
no, yeah. But it's like, until somebody diagnoses what the problem is, it's like, you're not touching my back with a knife. Yeah, I don't want you to go. That's not exploratory. I want to know what's going on and what you plan to do. And
Yeah.
nobody could tell me that. So it's like, never mind, go away. I'll find something else. So,
But from the very first day I met you, you are a person who has ideas about things you're going to do constantly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it was, hi, I'm Karen Mike. I wrote this book. I've got this book coming out, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's been, you must, your brain just must flood you with ideas because you're always coming up with something new.
Yeah. And yes, that is true. And I've already started planning on what the next, actually it was a visit to a family cemetery that sort of sparked the next standalone novel that I haven't started writing yet, but it's like in the back of my head stewing. But I have to say, since dealing with chronic pain and family trauma, it slowed that well down a little bit. It was still there dripping. I mean, it just, yeah, and lack of sleep, it's I'm cranky. It's like, so that definitely slowed the flow, but it's coming back. It's coming back. And it's like, when you're getting, recovering from surgery, it's like you can't go to sleep and then wake up the next day and it's like, oh, everything's better. It's like I'm still grieving for my parents because I didn't have time
Right.
to grieve, right? And so it's like, and I have to give myself a little bit of grace. Like, this is not an overnight solution. Things happen. I use my faith. I rely on my faith to get me to that point
I,
and thinking
I,
this is going to be better.
I don't know how people, and I'm not being judgmental or anything else, but I don't know
No,
how
but I
people
know.
without faith get through things.
I know. I know. I know. I know. And this is like, I'm drug free. Despite how many drugs that have been foisted on me by various medical people,
Mhm.
I'm not on anything because it just made me loopy. And if I'm ever going to write another book, I need my brain. I need to
Oh, yeah,
think. So,
yeah.
yeah.
But you've had such success, and people who love Karen White's books love Karen White's books, and
And I love those readers. They
aren't
have
they
really been
wonderful?
the ones who are
But
getting
I
me
love
through,
getting the
truly.
feedback, when I review a book or when I mention you, the
Hmm.
feedback I get, oh, I love her. I love her stories. I love this. I love the Tread Street. I love the, New Orleans. And I reflect back to that time we met at that party, and
Hmm.
it's just starting.
Yeah.
And look where
Yeah.
look where you've gone.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's
All
it's
right.
life though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in anything you do, there's going to be the ups and downs, and there's going to be the fallow periods and the the yielding periods, and it's just you just kind of have to hang on for the long ride. It's like investing in the stock market, right? Just don't sell when it's when it's low. I mean, just hang on and you'll be fine.
It was like at one point, the young lady that I do some work on YouTube with, Amber, uh,
Hmm.
I was telling her I was going to do this Zoom interview with you, and she said, "Oh, tell her, hello for me."
Hi,
And
Amber.
and when we did the book cover for the Instagram review, it was her hand
Mhm.
holding the book, and
Yes, yes, I love that.
it was a little
Yeah,
bit of, wave to you.
right. Yeah, and I'll
Yeah,
try not to think about how young she was when my first book came out. She might not have even been born. So,
yeah, and I've been working with her 5 years now, which just blows my.
wow,
It,
wow.
been through the courtship, marriage. She's working on her master's now. She's got a great job at the city, and she's
Right.
doing great.
Good. Yeah.
But she had that time that she worked with you, and she loved it. She was great.
Yeah. I miss her. I miss her if she ever wants to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: are you and Lauren and Beatrice going to do another book? Is that in anywhere in the works, or is
So yes, we have outlined a book, but we are doing some kind of deep thinking on how we want it to hit the marketplace. So nothing. I mean, it's not written yet. So I mean, we're still talking probably 2-3 years. So
the last book you wrote with like the Scottish book or whatever?
yeah, the author's guide to murder.
Right. That was the first time I couldn't pick what I thought couldn't pick out your voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, a lot of people agree. And I think it's because all three of our characters appeared on the page at the same time. And so we really had to, mentally prepare those voices to interact with the other characters so that they were really in character. Um, and it's something we kind of do instinctively, which is amazing because we are
Right.
three very strong voice writers. And that was like the most fun I think we've ever had writing one of our books together.
Yeah, did y'all go overseas to do research?
Oh, we wish. Our mean and hateful husband said no, we couldn't do that and leave them with the kids. So, and
I,
dogs,
I had
sort
an
of.
idea
Yeah.
that you did these excursion research
We
trips.
would, we have like, when we were writing The Lost Summers in Newport, we did go to Newport. Um, and I'm trying to think, in New York, we went to New York when we were working on The Forgotten Room. Um, so if it's local and kind of easy, again, it's easier for me because or at the time they had kids at home, and Lauren has little kids, so it's a bit tricky to do. I'm like, yes, let's go to Scotland, and they're looking at me like, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, and for writing the Lusitania one, or we wanted to um take the Queen Mary across the Atlantic, and wouldn't that be fun? And see what it's like to be on a steamer ship. And again, our husbands were like, mm,
Uh, hmm. Now, maybe later.
yeah,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
later. Well, Karen, I know you're going to be on the road with publicizing this book. And
Yes,
it's such a good read. And it's like I said,
thank you,
pure Karen White. And that's
thank
an
you,
ultimate compliment. And
thank you.
I wish you much, much, much success with this. And that, oh gosh, and it's so good to be able to see your face and talk to
You
you.
too, you too. It's been way too long.
Way too long. But
Yeah,
take care. Good luck with the book. I guess you can
thank you.
not bad luck to
All
say
right,
good luck. And I'm looking forward to the fall book and everything that's coming our way. So keep
thank you.
going. Great to
I
see.
will, and you as well. All right, tell Terry I said hey.
I will. And
All
this
righty.
is Jackie K. Cooper with my interview with Karen White.